In the rugged wilds of 1800s Arizona, a lonely rancher named John Carver discovers a lost boy who whispers, "My mama's in the woods." Following the child's plea, John finds a wounded woman from his past, and through courage, kindness, and redemption, he learns that even broken souls can find family again. Let's go get. The year was 1884. Dust blew across the parched plains of Arizona Territory as John Carver, a weathered rancher, mended a broken fence. He was a man of silence and sorrow, his life carved by loss. The sun dipped low when he heard a faint sob carried on the wind, high, trembling, and human. He turned sharply, spotting a tiny figure emerging from the brush. A barefoot boy, no older than 6, stumbled toward him, clothes torn, face streaked with dirt and tears. John dropped his tools and hurried forward. "Easy now, son," he said. "You lost?" The boy shook his head weakly, clutching his small hands together. "Mama's in the woods," he whispered, voice barely holding. "She told me to run when they came." John's brow furrowed. "Who came?" The child swallowed. "Bad men. They hurt her. I ran fast like she said." John's chest tightened. He'd seen this kind of cruelty before. He knelt, placing a gentle hand on the boy's shoulder. "You did right, kid. You're safe now." He grabbed his Winchester from the fence post and lifted the boy into his arms. "Show me where." The boy pointed toward the dark timberline. The woods swallowed them whole as the sun sank behind the ridge. Wind whispered through the pines, carrying the scent of blood and smoke. John moved quietly, rifle ready, eyes sweeping the shadows. "What's your name, son?" he asked softly. "Tommy," the boy replied. "Mama said if anything happened, to find a man named John Carver." John froze mid-step. "She said that?" The boy nodded. "She said you once helped Pa." John's heart clenched. He remembered the name now. Martha Lyle. Her husband had died years ago in a cattle raid John had tried and failed to stop. They reached a clearing near the creek. Smoke curled from a small dying fire, and beside it lay a woman in a torn calico dress, barely breathing. John dropped to his knees. "Martha," he breathed. Her face was pale, lips cracked. "Tommy," she whispered, weak but alive. "Mama," the boy cried, hugging her. John tore a strip from his shirt, pressing it against the wound on her shoulder. "You're safe now," he said. "Who did this?" Her hand trembled as she pointed deeper into the trees. "Rustlers. They took the horse and our things. They said they'd come back for the boy." John's jaw set like stone. "Not while I'm standing." He lifted his rifle, eyes cold with resolve. "Tommy, stay with your mama. Don't move till I say." The boy nodded, clutching her hand. John disappeared into the trees, his boots silent on the damp ground. The forest was thick with tension. Somewhere ahead, laughter echoed, men around a campfire boasting. John crept closer, the orange glow flickering against the trunks. 3 of them, rough-faced drifters with whiskey and pistols at their hips. He took a deep breath, steadied his rifle, and stepped out of the dark like judgment itself. "Evening, boys," John said, voice low and steady. The men froze, one mid-swig, another halfway to drawing his gun. "You hurt a woman and left her to die," he continued. "That's something I can't overlook." The leader smirked. "Who the hell are you, old man?" "Name's Carver," John said, "and you made a big mistake." Gunfire cracked through the night. The first rustler dropped instantly. The others scrambled for cover. John moved like a shadow, every shot deliberate. When the smoke cleared, the forest was silent again, save for the soft trickle of the creek and John's ragged breathing. He returned to the clearing under the blood-red sky of dawn. Tommy and Martha looked up in fear, but when they saw his face, they knew. "It's done," he said simply. He cleaned her wound with water from his canteen and wrapped it tight. "You'll live," he assured her. She smiled weakly. "You always did keep your word, John." He helped her onto his horse and lifted Tommy up behind her. Where are we going? The boy asked. John looked toward the horizon. Home. He'd ridden alone for years, but today, for the first time, the word meant something again. Back at his ranch, John laid Martha on his bed and built a fire. The boy fed the horses while John prepared stew. The silence was warm now, not hollow. Days passed, and color returned to Martha's cheeks. She helped mend fences and cook meals while Tommy's laughter filled the empty yard. The ranch, once a place of ghosts, now breathed again. One night, as the fire crackled, Martha said softly, "You didn't have to save us." John looked into the flames. "Didn't have to," he said, "but I reckon I was meant to." Weeks turned into months. Martha's wound healed, and Tommy learned to ride under John's watchful eye. Word spread across the territory. 3 rustlers found dead in the woods, justice served by an unknown hand. When the sheriff came asking, John only said, "Wolves must have gotten them." Life went quiet again, but not lonely. One morning, Tommy ran in shouting, "Pa, breakfast!" And John froze, then smiled. Martha stood in the doorway, sunlight behind her. "Guess he's already made up his mind," she said. John tipped his hat, voice rough with emotion. "Then I reckon I have too." By the next spring, the ranch was alive. Crops sprouting, cattle grazing, laughter echoing across the valley. John would sometimes ride out to the creek where it all began and watch the water glisten beneath the morning sun. The ghosts that once haunted him were gone, replaced by something better. Family. The boy who had whispered, "Mama's in," the woods had found his hero, and the rancher who'd sworn never to love again had found his purpose. Out on the frontier, life was hard, but sometimes, even in the harshest wilderness, kindness still had a way of finding you.